Well, Robin, John, the Sugarlands Visitor Center was absolutely empty today. I had the chance to talk to a former Smokies ranger who says it's causing growing concern for the folks in the park.
Well, it's an opportunity lost, really.
The empty scene at Sugarlands Visitor Center reminds Phil Francis of the 1995 government shutdown.
And here we are again. I thought we had learned our lesson.
The former Smokies superintendent says he sees the frustration a shutdown can cause then and now.
You know, our employees are so dedicated to the mission of the National Park Service. And here they are at home, wondering whether or not they're going to get a check.
Francis says the Smokies staff right now is a skeleton of its usual state, and that's why as chairman of the Coalition to Protect America's National Parks, he maintains the parks should be completely closed to the public during the shutdown.
You know, we've had poaching. I know that there have been break-ins. Things happen. 99% of our visitors are great visitors, but there's always that 1% that does vandalism, goes off trail, puts themselves and others at risk, and we just need the full complement of staff here to ensure their safety.
He says to stay open, the parks are draining campground fees.
The projects that would have been accomplished using those fees cannot be any longer. So when our staffs come back, they're going to be shorthanded.
As he looks to the future, he hopes lawmakers can find common ground.
Something needs to happen so that this can't happen again in the future, so that parks and their employees aren't used as pawns in this political game, this political brinkmanship. It needs to cease.
Francis says the coalition has seen an uptick in donations because of the state of the parks. He says he wrote nearly 100 thank you notes on Sunday for all of the help. Robin, John, we'll send it back to you.
Sean, thank you. Several weeks into